Hello and welcome back to the channel. Thanks for joining me in another of my videos. Before I get going, I just want to say thank you very much to everybody who's been supporting the channel. It's very kind of you and sending well wishes whilst I was somewhat incapacitated. And a big thank you to everybody who has been buying the book, Biggleswick, the town that wouldn't comply. And if you are one of those people who've been thinking, oh, I must get that book, and I've been looking on Amazon and other online retailers, I can't find it, well, you won't. It's only available through me, and if you email me, richard@vobes.com, I will send you an email back to tell you how you can purchase it, and it will be in the post pronto. And many people are quite surprised. They say, oh, blimey, the book arrived very quickly. Yes, we do try to give good service here as much as we can. Anyway, so thank you to those people, and I hope you're enjoying it. And if you have, do put it in the comments. That would be really handy. Anyway, as you know, the last couple of months where Julia and I have been desperately trying to get onto the land and do our English couple, which, by the way, recently we've just released another one, and hopefully in a couple of weeks' time there'll be another episode. I've been unable because I had this strange muscular thing that was going on, which forced me to stay at home a lot and not do very much. Well, I'm a lot better now, as you can see. But one of the things I think when you are incapacitated and you're forced to convalesce, you sit around doing not very much, thinking. You know, firstly, it's frustrating not being able to get out and do the things that you want to do, of course. And then you start to think, well, and this is what I've been thinking, does any of it really matter? After all, we're born with nothing and we die taking nothing. And we have this interim of life, and you just think, does any of that really matter? When we are young, we're told that we need to go to school, we need to be educated, otherwise we won't be able to get a job, we won't be able to get on. And you think, well, what is the purpose of having to be educated and getting a job? Oh, yes, that's, it's to better yourself, to buy a house, to get married, to have kids, to be able to afford all those things that the advertisers keep dangling in front of us. And in one way, that is, that's how you've got to live, isn't it? Because we are in this weird system whereby you cannot just find a bit of land, build your own house and grow a few bits of food and live perfectly fine on your own or with a few friends in the locality and be able to barter or trade and, sell off the surplus of things. You can't do that because, the powers that be will come down on you like a ton of bricks and say, no, there are rules. There are rules. This is the system we live under. And it's strange that there are these rules and there's this system when we live on, let's say, a planet, for the sake of argument, that was there before councils, authority, local authority, governments, and all these people were even invented. And yet somehow they've decided, oh, no, we're going to control everything, even though they weren't there when the land and everything was first created. But they want to control our lives. They want to control not only our lives, but how we think, what our children think, and how we spend our lives. And of course, we know that they would like now to have us with digital IDs. They want the CBDs to come in so they can show us exactly what we can buy and what we can't buy, if our carbon credits and our morals and our ethics are not in line with the big brother's thinking. And so I just wonder, we're sort of influenced, aren't we, to achieve things. Now, in the past, I've been very much one of those achievers. I always feel very guilty if I'm in bed, say after 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning. I feel I've got to be up. I've got to be making something or doing something, or recording my Naked Englishman podcast, or recording a video like this, or getting out onto the land, or writing a book, or doing something. I feel I ought to be not wasting time. But as I say, when you're sitting around, you're unable to do anything, and there may be many people out there who are afflicted with things that have prevented them from following perhaps the career they want to follow, or to achieve the things they would like to achieve, and they're sitting there, like I have been, thinking, well, what does it matter, actually, in the end? We're sort of we're sort of pushed, aren't we, to try and achieve something. And yet that achievement means what? Because when you achieve it, it's like, well, okay, I've got here, whatever that is, maybe the CEO of a big corporate company, and it may have taken all my life and all my years and my neglect of the children, neglect of my mum and dad, and neglect of my partners and things like that in order to achieve this amazing thing. And I've got a house with big swimming pool and acres of land, but no time to enjoy it because the job has suddenly, gobbled away all my time. And then you think, well, actually, now I'm old and frail and I'm about to kick the bucket and so on. What does it matter? Does any of that matter? Would it have been better to be one of those people who've just idled away the time, enjoyed life by not having to do very much? And I've been thinking about this a lot, really. I mean, I want to achieve things, but is it me that really wants to achieve it, or is it the ego? The ego says to me, oh, wouldn't it be lovely to have a series of books with my name on it that people are reading and enjoying? And it's, they say, oh, that Richard Vobes, he's written some nice books. But that's just the ego, isn't it? I mean, when I'm gone, it doesn't really matter to me whether people are reading those books. It's a nice idea now to leave a legacy that, I was here and I've made a mark. But it won't be me that will be finding that out. And I won't even know whether anybody's actually enjoyed it or whether they've gathered all the books up and said, let's get a shot of these bits of old rubbish. So does it matter? When we are gone, does it matter? Does it matter what we achieve in our lives? And this has been something that's been preoccupying me. Should we spend more time doing little and enjoying life? I mean, one of the things that I love is getting up early and watching the sunrise. Now, that's not achieving very much. It's just getting up and going, wow, look at that. Isn't that amazing? Another thing that I love is walking around our land or even the landscape in general, looking at flowers and trees. And if I see wildlife, it's just enjoying just that, being there, being in the moment. And yet I feel guilty if I spend too much time doing that because I think, oh no, I've got to go and achieve stuff because, the government would like some money from me every time I fill up with diesel, or, HMRC would like some cash if you've sold something. And you just think, what is the point of all of this? Why are we chasing our tail all the time, working ever so hard, and yet ignoring what seems to be more important things in life? And that is not wasting the time that we're working for somebody else all the time. I mean, I heard yesterday, we popped into a little corner shop just to buy a beer, actually. I know I very rarely drink beer, but I decided I would fancy a nice little beer. And there was a guy there talking to the sales chap saying, oh, I've got this shift tomorrow. I've got to be up at 4:30 in the morning. I've got to go and do this, that and the other. And I thought, why? Why are we pushing ourselves to have to do all this stuff and miss out on just being alive? But the problem is, of course, we're in a system that forces us to try and earn some money. And it is baffling. And most of the time, of course, we don't think about the things that really matter. Spending time with a partner, playing with children, looking at the sunrise or the sunset, going for walks, smelling the coffee. Whatever it might be, we're so busy going, I've got to do this, I've got this shift, I must go and earn this money, I've got to pay this bill, somebody else is banging on my door demanding some cash. And we're forced into this system that, and of course the adverts and the media and the schooling and the government and the authorities are all trying to say, this is the direction of life. And if you are one of those people who don't do very much, you're a lazy layabout. If you're somebody who just takes the universal credit and says, oh, sod it, I'm not going to do very much. I'm going to sit in the garden and enjoy some vitamin D when there is. I'm going to stand and dance in the rain. I'm not achieving anything, not that other people would say, but I am actually enjoying life. And I'm taking the money that the government would give you. And sometimes I just think, perhaps that's the better way. But then there's the other side of me that's saying, no, you've got to, you've got some books to write. I want people to laugh or be amused or or think about something. I've got videos to make. I want to get on the land and build the various bits and pieces we need to and plant the food and enjoy that lifestyle. But we can't take it away when we go. And this is such a sort of short space of time that you just, in some ways, I just think, what does it matter? Does it matter if we achieve great things? Does it matter if we just sit on our arse all day long, smoking a pipe and just enjoying life? It's our lives, and I don't know. I'm sort of wavering around in this. And this is one of the things that when you're ill for a couple of months or so, and you're forced to basically sit around and do not very much and recuperate, get better, and everyone says, no, don't do anything, don't strain yourself, don't get up and go anywhere, just sit around. And you start thinking, actually, this is quite enjoyable, not doing anything, not worrying about anything. If, of course, you're in a position financially to be able to do that. Otherwise, if you're not, you'll be sitting around going, but I can't afford to sit around and do nothing. I've got to get out and do things. And then you might get up and you might go off and do those things, and you might make your physique or illness or whatever it is worse. Or it might be that you're racking up stress for later on in your life when the walls are closing in, your body isn't feeling great because you've been forcing yourself to not have so much sleep, trying to earn things. And yet, when you die, whatever is afterwards, if anything at all, what does it matter? What does it matter in the end? I mean, clearly we want to keep our lives as comfortable as we can. We need to have shelter and we need to be warm and we need to eat. But other than that, why do we push ourselves into these endless, stressful, got to earn money, got to look after everybody else, got to do this, do that, do the other, achieve great things as much as we can? Why are we pushing our children into this system instead of letting them understand what life is and decide, you know what, I don't want to do anything today. Today I want to just climb a tree. Today I want to go and chase butterflies. Today I just want to sit on the riverbank and fish. Why is life not what we want to do and just relax and enjoy it? Why are we pushed forevermore to chase a dream that when the dream comes is meaningless anyway? If you've got the answer, I'd love to know. Until next time, take care. And if you want to buy the book, Biggleswick, The Town That Wouldn't Comply, just send me an email, richard@vobes.com, and see what you make of that. Until next time, bye for now.